What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so let me say this. Salute to the Dallas Mavericks. All right, they eliminated the Oklahoma City Thunder last night in Game 6, 4 games to 2. The final score of Game 6 was 117, 116. Although Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did have a game-high 36 points, it was not enough as the Dallas Mavericks proved to be the better team in this series. I make no excuses for that. All right, they were the number one seed, Thunder, but they lost. All right, they were the number one seed, but they lost in this series to the fifth seeded Dallas Mavericks. Although to be fair, Dallas did win 50 games this year, which I believe is the best win total of the Luka Doncic era. And the Thunder, I think, had 57, either 56 or 57 wins, one of the two. But the reason I'm making this video is, there's some people out there that somehow are, because of this loss, now they're saying, this proves that Shai was a fraud. Oh, Shai was a fraud MVP. See, we told you, the right guy won it. Shai's a fraud. Let me say something. I know this is coming from Jokic fans, okay? Jokic fans and maybe a few Doncic fans. First of all, Shai doesn't have much playoff experience. I believe the only other real playoff experience he had was, I think, being on that team with Chris Paul. He may have been a rookie then. They played a 7-game series with the Rockets, and that was Chris Paul being the star of that team. Shai hadn't quite developed into the player he is today. So he didn't have much playoff experience. And in his first go-around, where he clearly doesn't have the talent around him that some of these other guys have. People like to say that Luka doesn't have talent around him. The guy has Kyrie Irving. Okay? To give you an idea of how much talent Luka has around him, Kyrie only averaged 15 points a game in this series, and they won in 6. Shai has, let's look at this. Josh Giddey, who averaged 6 points per game in this series. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Luka Dort, who I'm not saying is a bad player, but I mean, he shot 31% from the floor in this series. Okay? Chet Holmgren, 15.8 points per game, who's supposed to be the second best player on the team, but was third in scoring. He shot 51% from the floor, but only 22% from downtown. And Jalen Williams had a pretty good series, 17 points a game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in this series, the fraud, right? 32.2 points per game, leading all scorers in this series. 8 rebounds, 7.3 assists, 1.2 steals, 2.3 blocks. 2.3 blocks. 50.7% shooting from the floor, 83.3% from the charity stripe, and shot 55% from downtown and played 41 minutes a night. But somehow, some way, you Shai haters say that he's a fraud. You know, Luka, you guys always say Luka needs help. Luka needs help. Luka needs help. The guy had Jalen Brunson on his team. And as I said before, you notice how a lot of times he got away with it this series. But notice how a lot of players who are great somehow don't look so great playing with this guy. Hell, even Kyrie looked great playing with LeBron James. If anything, players are hindered playing with this guy because he dominates the basketball in a way that nobody else ever does or has. I think for The third time in the last 4 seasons, Luka Doncic led the NBA in usage. Luka Doncic has missed 3 playoff games in his career, and the Mavericks are 2-1 in those playoff games. Remember how good Jalen Brunson looked in those missed playoff games? And I was saying that he was holding, Luka was holding Jalen Brunson back, and a lot of you Doncic fans said, "Oh, he just looks like that in this series, but let him go to New York, and we'll see how good he is." Well, what you saying now? What you guys saying now? What you guys saying now? But anyway, salute to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You're only 25 years old. You should have been, in my opinion, still the league MVP. Um, you don't really have a secondary star on your team, but you're not complaining about it. You're not quibbling about it. You know, Oklahoma's future is still bright. They're bright. And I still think that within the next 5 years, the Thunder will be in the NBA Finals. So salute to Shea for a great season. Don't hold your head down. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing some good things there. And you know what? I believe what you guys should do, just to have a veteran presence on that team, bring back Russell Westbrook. Bring back Russell Westbrook. Have him come off the bench.